You have to be willing to sacrifice everything in content creation.
But then when you try to do it yourself, you really understand like how much effort and work it takes.
I was looking at these other podcast clips and I was asking over these videos and why did it go viral? How did this happen and how can I recreate it?
That is the secret for the next 5 to 10 years of content creation.
Forever, bro. I believe that the algorithm is a reflection of people, as in the people on the app. The people that are watching the video are giving a signal to the algorithm that we want to watch more of this shit. The best way to look at packaging in TikTok is to go back to your liked videos, right? And see what made you like this video. So there's the commercial side to things and then there's the personal side to things. And you need to find the right, you need to find dead center.
Well said.
I realized while doing influencer management that 95 or maybe 100% of the market is getting scammed. Someone said this to me the other day. It's like, if someone gave you $1 million right now, would you stop shooting content for yourself? So I discovered, isn't that concerning, through maybe 6 or 7 years of trial and error.
Isn't it interesting that the memory of your first memory is just a memory?
Wow. No, that's concerning. That's a good one.
Fahad Kaleem is the region's #1 TikTok content creator, social media expert, and co-founder of the K9 Unit Agency. In a world where everyone is chasing virality, in this episode he shares his step-by-step formula to make any piece of content go viral. Did you know that 44% of podcasts stop after episode 3? So that means all that time, energy, and money is just wasted and you never get to truly see the benefits of podcasting. So if you want your show to stay alive and healthy, you can book a call in the link below and let's get started today.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you so much for your time, man. I really, really appreciate it. So Fahad, I love to give the audience context of how we met. So funnily enough, backstory. Obviously, I found out about you back in the COVID times with TikTok. You were blowing up. I'm like, who the hell is this guy talking all this rubbish? I'm like, is he? And what I loved, I'm like, you were doing it so seriously. I'm like, is he actually believe this or or not? And then the first time I actually met you was at, when we did the first AUD podcast recording with Tawfiq, and you came and you know we got to meet you there. And then fast forward now, here we are, 2025. Wow, 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. We moderated that panel, that Cloud Spaces.
Very nice.
Yeah, man, which was such a great event. So, Fahad, everyone, you know, if you're in the region, if you don't know who he is, guys, you've been under a rock. I don't know what the fuck you've been doing. So Fahad, guys, is one of the biggest content creators in the space, you know, in the region and, you know, in the UAE. And he has built now his own agency, which is the K9 Unit, which, you know, helping brands, you know, go viral, you know, taking all the experience and secrets that you've built for yourself and like taking it to the masses. And the timing of having an agency like yours with your experience could not be better because everyone wants that. So for today, Fahad, I wanted to touch on like your journey, first of all, getting into content, but I wanted to really give the audience in this episode some actionable tools, tips that they can take away from this and start implementing into their content, because things like algorithms are always changing and stuff. So there are tips that I want to talk about for your content, but tips also on how to play the algorithm. But before we get into all of that, Fahad, why don't you give all of us a little bit of background about yourself, man, and we'll take it from there.
So I've been born and raised in the UAE. I'm Pakistani, but only by passport. Culturally, or like geographically, you could call me like a Sharjah kid. Like whole life in Abu Shagara. And the funny thing is, like, I didn't even want to get into content. Like when I was a kid growing up, I always wanted, like, my first ever interest was NASA. I wanted to get into like space and like flying to the moon kind of stuff.
I can connect you with some people.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'll talk after.
All right. And yeah, I mean, I'm a dropout. I was pursuing electrical engineering and life led me towards media. And here I am running this agency that creates content and making fun of other people in other niches in my own page on my content. So that's who I am.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for giving us that quick context. So I wanted to start here. I did my research listening to your podcast, and you started on Twitter.
Yes.
You started posting on Twitter for 2 to 3 years, and you're like, but it's interesting. It took you a while to start getting attention. But then when you got it, you're like, as an engineering mindset, you're like, why am I getting it? You know?
So I was on Twitter when BlackBerry was out.
Holy
So I downloaded.
shit.
I made my account through the.
No way.
Yeah, I made my.
What the fuck?
I made my account
Damn.
on the Curve.
Okay.
9320.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I know. That's the first time I've seen the app.
Shit.
And I
okay.
made it because like someone else was on Twitter. I didn't want Twitter. Like someone else was on Twitter, and then they were like, "Hey, you should get on Twitter." So because of my friend, I got on Twitter, and I wouldn't even tweet, bro. Like for me, it's like what does someone who's like 14 think of a social media app? Yeah, it's just whatever. And obviously, I had like maybe 10, 15 followers back then, and then iPhone came out, switched to iPhone, and then obviously continued the Twitter journey. And when I went to uni, when I was in AUS, that's where I became the most active.
Okay.
So I would tweet about like ranting about my midterms, my quiz, or like just life in general. And I noticed that people from within my university who I didn't know would recognize my tweets.
Oh, okay.
So that was like my first, like, so there's your, I would say that social media like inherently was to make you connect with people, right? So all my friends that were already there, like most, if you could count them in total, would be like 100, 200 friends were on my Twitter. But their friends then started noticing me because I was just showing up on Twitter. Like now that I think back to it. And I would just post the most random of stuff, like BS, total BS. Like if someone can stalk my Twitter to 2014, 15, you'll actually find a depressed Fahad. Like I was going through depression at that time, and combating depression was like retweeting these Tumblr tweets and stuff like that. And then this one time I posted this tweet where it was a screen recording of my mom going out on me because I tore this Desi Pakistani, what was I going to say, costume, like clothes, shalwar kameez, and I tore it. Like I tore the sleeve over here, and it was Eid.
Oh.
So she's like, I gave birth to a dog. Can't even do one thing right, And I posted that. I just recorded that and I posted it, which is weird. Like, why would I do that? But I just posted it because I found it funny. And 2 weeks later, my friend tags me on Instagram of another page, a meme page that reshared that.
Okay.
And that had more views than I had.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is a thing. And then I started doing that more. Like, I mean, obviously I couldn't recreate my mom's experience. Eid happens once a year, but I was like, that just encouraged me, to
There's something there.
Yeah, there's something here. And for me, at that point was pure, how did this happen and how can I recreate it?
Yeah.
And I mean, the basic answer is simple. If people have to take away something from this, is just showing up, like just constantly doing the same action again and again. So from 2014 to 2018, that was like 4 years of just showing up, and then 2018 onwards, show up even more, but show up in the right direction. So like, don't just show up. Like now I know what works. Depression was not working. My mom making fun of me worked. People related with that. What else can I do? And the transition from there on to TikTok was like when Musical.ly came around, I was very against Musical.ly.
Oh, interesting.
Because I was like, what is this? How can people even call this real content? Like, it's just people lip syncing music, And my sister was on it. She was like, she's 10 years younger than me. So if I was 19 back then, she was 9.
Oh, wow.
So she had made all these, I've seen it. It's so embarrassing. Like, those cringe... sped up.
Yeah, bro. My sister was young at the time too. I have the same ones. Yeah.
And so I would see her in Musical.ly, and for me, it's like looking at kids today playing Roblox. For me, it was like, yeah, this is BS. Like, and then Musical.ly changed to TikTok, and somehow my sister pushed me. And by this time, I was trying a bunch of stuff. I was trying a bunch of funny videos that I thought were funny, because I just enjoyed the process and I wanted to recreate it. And the second I went on TikTok, I think TikTok was handing out reach to people in 2019 and
yeah, that time, yeah, for sure.
You could upload a video that you randomly pick from your gallery and it'll get 15,000 views. And that's exactly what I had done. Like, I had uploaded like this random video that I recorded of some kid trying to get his football from like in Kasba. If you guys know, there's like this lake kind of thing. It got 35,000 views in half an hour.
Wow.
Today that's unheard of, right? So yeah, and it was just, bro, from there on, like, for me, it was just like, okay, I figured out what's working. how can I make this into a factory?
You know, it's interesting, Fahad, listening to your story. So obviously I had Ibrahim on the show. Big shout out to Ibrahim as well.
Shout out.
And his story was very similar to yours in the sense that he's like, and most content creators that have made it like in this space, no one planned for it, right? No one planned for it. You were just there. You had some interest. You wanted to do some things, and you were able, kind of like what you said, at that time, it was much easier to get reach. So now it's much harder to hit these kind of numbers and so on. It's interesting how when something starts, it's organic and you go crazy, and then everyone sees this shiny thing and they're like, oh, I want that. But now to get that, it takes 10 times the work, effort, and money. I relate your story a lot to my podcast. So I started this now 5 years ago. 5 years ago, yes, there were podcasts. I was definitely not the first, but I was still early compared to what everyone is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and now, luckily, because I was consistent, like you said, done over almost 200 episodes now.
Yeah, wow. Mashallah.
So now I'm getting, like, you remember how you had those 4 years of Twitter and then it like picked up? I'm like, I've been like under the radar for 5 years, and I felt like 2025 was Khalid's like, come out here.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
Ago,
so I appreciate.
I don't think there was any podcast studios in the.
Well, no, there weren't. There weren't.
There were
there weren't. You're 100% right.
Like,
you know?
I got my first experience with a podcast studio in 2022
with Podster, of course.
Yeah. And Podster wasn't even Podster. It was just a tech company. So I don't. Yeah, bro, you were way early.
Yeah. So it's. But this is the problem now. I think people see a space, like they see podcasting, they see content creation. They're like, okay, I want to get into this space now. What I realized when going through this experience and process, I always, if I'm being honest, I looked at content creators, not negatively, but like, oh, you're just being funny. It's so easy.
Yeah.
But then when you try to do it yourself, you really understand like how much effort and like work it takes. And people want that shortcut now.
Yeah.
But I don't think there is one, and it's a lot harder. So what would you say to people now who want to get into this space? I think you need to be double committed and like serious if you really want to get there. What would you say to that?
So it varies platform to platform. Okay. So I'm like everyone watching this video right now to understand how to get into it. I'm exactly like you guys are if you're thinking about TikTok. I am like that for YouTube right now. So I have zero experience. I have a following, but that's just fall off from TikTok. Like, it's just people who've seen me on TikTok. And I don't know what type of content is going to work for me on YouTube. I don't know what's going to blow up. Okay, Mr. Beast is the standard of a guy who has 400 million subscribers, but that's unique to Mr. Beast. If I wanted to create my channel and base it off of what Mr. Beast has done, I don't think I'll ever be successful. Like, I might be successful, but I don't think it'll be sustainable. Because I'm doing something that is based off of someone else's experience. I didn't discover that. So I discovered, isn't that concerning, through maybe 6 or 7 years of trial and error.
And you said it found you, not the other way around.
Yes, literally. I mean, I said it by accident in a video, at the end of the video, and then I saw the comment section repeating that. So I was like, this is it. I didn't sit down in a room and I was like, for 3 days, I'm just sitting like, what's the name of my thing? What am I going to say? No,
what's my tagline going to be?
It was just, it happened and that's it. Yeah. Isn't that concerning? And so, I mean, people who are trying to get into this field right now of TikTok, I'm going to speak short form.
Sure.
Try and discover yourself through trial and error. And even if that takes you, like, you have to be willing to sacrifice everything in content creation. And it's not that easy after a certain age, it's not that easy when you have responsibilities. I was very privileged for my time. I was 16, 17 when I was experimenting. And by the age of 19, 20, I even took the risk of dropping out. And I kind of really put it all on the line, And like, if I was 30 and or 40 and I have responsibilities, it won't be as easy. Like, now that I'm turning 28 in like literally 2 days. I'm just
early happy birthday, bro. Perfect time. Awesome, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you. So like, I'm just thinking, if I was turning 28 and I had to figure out TikTok now, it would be hell. It wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't have the same freedom and flexibility. Like, that's why, like, even in sports, like, you have to start early on.
That's a great analogy. That's a great comparison.
Like, Ronaldo was there since, I don't know, 5, 7, 8, that's all he's known his entire life. So, and I think that's with anything. But then also that there's a saying that it's never too late, right?
True.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
There is never too late, but then you have to be more strategic, I think. If I was 28 and I was trying to get into content, I wouldn't be stupid and dump everything on the line. I would maintain my job if I have a job going, if I have a business going. I would maintain that because you need capital. Because that's how I'm thinking for YouTube. I'm there on YouTube at 28 with zero experience for YouTube. So I'm thinking, okay, I can't shut down my agency. I can't stop whatever income is coming so I can just pump everything onto YouTube with my savings. No, I'm going to keep this going on the side and I'm going to pump slowly into YouTube. I'm going to understand. But all my free time is YouTube.
Yeah.
There's no socializing anymore. That's how I'm going to look at that.
Let's see. This is a very important point you brought up. So it's funny that me and you are in two different places. Yeah. So I think you can help me a lot. And I think I can help you a lot.
Sure.
So man, you're the TikTok expert, right? What I did this year, because I've been posting on YouTube now for 5 years.
Yeah.
But there was a phase I was consistent, phase I wasn't, whatever. And even I'm talking now, this is now last November. This November is when the studio was done and I was back full-time podcasting consistently again. And I'm like, bro, I posted so much content. Why is it only having 5 views? Why do I only have 90? How can I have spoken to 90 people and only have 90 subscribers? Yeah. It doesn't make sense. So I hired a YouTube coach who I've mentioned many times on the show.
Nice.
Bro, what I've learned is, and this is my advice to anyone, I think not just in content space, but in any space. Me and you can sit down and I can tell you, this is what you need to do for the thumbnail, the title, whatever. You can take that and apply it and figure it out yourself. But what I've learned, man, when you work with an expert, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Getting that feedback on point. They have insights that you're not okay, you might watch it, but you need help to implement it.
100%.
To start, you know what I'm saying? So my YouTube now, it was 19, now we're at 320. We've 4x in the last couple months. Okay, if you look at, in terms of numbers, it's not much, but let's say if you extrapolate what that growth would have been if there was a bigger audience, it would be in the thousands and thousands. Yeah. So I've kind of figured out YouTube a little bit. But for example, my issue is the short form. I'm fucking dog shit on that. I post all the time, but 200 views, 300 views. And I go watch other content, for example, on TikTok, and I'm like, because I look at the hashtags, I look at whatever. I've done research, so I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm like, bro, you're doing this. Even the video is not there wasn't a zoom, there wasn't a B-roll, there wasn't it. Why is this getting so much more? And I still don't have that answer personally myself. So, and in my experience, long form is how I built my subscribers, how it's helped build a business and whatever. So it makes more sense for me to focus that. I just do short form as just outreach. To be there. Yeah. I'm there. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So for TikTok now, kind of like what you're saying, I wanted to start the conversation on TikTok and we'll come on to YouTube. TikTok now, it's so much harder, like you were saying, to get views. I know there's a ranking system of 3, 10, 100, 1,000. And you said something very interesting. You're like, the algorithm is a reflection of the people. Now, I've never heard anyone say that before. Yeah. Half of me agrees with you, half of me doesn't, and I'll explain why. When you say that, I 100% get what you mean, because it actually is. It's going to push the right content to the right people, and this is what the people want. But at the same time, what I've learned working with my coach for YouTube is and maybe it's because it's different platforms, so I don't know. Even if you do everything right, the title's on point, the thumbnail's on point, whatever, you're still to a certain extent at the mercy of the algorithm.
Yes.
You could do everything right and it can still flop. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the algorithm right now.
Okay.
What would your take on what I said be? Do you agree, disagree, or is there something else we need to keep in mind?
So YouTube and TikTok, similar but extremely different, right? YouTube is I saw it in one of Colin and Samir's podcasts. This guy goes it's click to watch algorithm. But on TikTok, it's not click to watch, you just scroll.
Exactly.
It's
that YouTube guy, the 50 billion view guy? Yes. I watched that episode too.
It was really nice. Very insightful.
Very.
So I believe that the algorithm is a reflection of people, as in the people on the app, strictly because of the data I've collected over the last 5 years. So if one structure of content works for a real estate broker, it's going to work for the CEO of another company. And it's going to also work for a supermarket. No matter who the profile is, that structure always works. That means, as per my theory and data, that people like a certain format of content. And I'll give you an example, very recent example, and you can look this up. At the point of this time of this video being recorded, it's Friday, 29th of August. We uploaded it 2 days ago. So I'm working with this real estate broker right now. His name is American in Dubai. Okay. I took him to this location in Dera where they sell used Herman Miller chairs, the ones that they've used in the Office series as well. And basically in the market, they're at 6,000, but there it's used, so they're selling it at 1,500. The video is on 40,000 views. Now, if you go to my other clients, Alex, Debar, Burger 28, or another real estate broker that I'm working with, Omid, they've all done the exact same video and got like 100K, 200K, 300K views. So that means the audience that is sitting on TikTok in the UAE is strictly obsessed with the idea of getting a good deal on anything, and specifically that chair, for some reason. So no matter who I take, no matter what, even if you go there right now with your TikTok profile and you shoot a video and you ask the questions, how much is this chair for? How much can I get it for outside? And then show the chair and be like, okay, I'm going to buy 5 pieces or whatever. It's going to cross at least 10,000 views. Guaranteed. I've never seen that video flop. Wow. That specific video. So now that's not happening because of the people that are in the video. It's happening because the people that are watching the video are giving a signal to the algorithm that we want to watch more of this shit. So that means you need to understand what people want to watch on TikTok. And the best way to understand is to look at what's going viral in your region. And so that's where I came on this conclusion, like the algorithm is a reflection of what people want to watch and what type of people are sitting on the app as well. But then you said something else I completely forgot, which was you are at the mercy of the algorithm.
Yes,
to a certain extent.
Yeah. Even if I do everything right.
Even if you make that video, you can still, and that happens as well. I made a page as a sample page. So I was trying to do this YouTube channel challenge where I wanted to beat this record of my own where I reached 30,000 followers in 14 days. So it's a TikTok account. You can still look it up. It's called 14-Day TikTok, like FOURTEE and day TikTok. And I went to that place and I recorded a video with the chair. It didn't work. It flopped. But then the next shop which was selling a stove, it got 200K views.
Okay.
So yes, you are at the mercy of the algorithm. Because how is it working? The algorithm is recommending your video at random to 3 different people, then 6, then 100, then 200. And if those 3 people were the anomalies in this data set that we have that were not interested in that good deal, you lost. You're not going to get recommended further. But it's all a probability game, right? So you are at the mercy of the algorithm messing up in that first time recommending it to people. But then it's like, I always give the example of a casino. It's like, and I don't gamble, but like I would assume this is what gambling is. You go with the best odds, you go with the best chance, right? So you know that if I make this video in this format, I have a 95% chance of going viral. It's not guaranteed 100%, but I'm more likely. And if I don't, then I just tweak it a little bit and it might go in the 3rd or the 4th time. And that's what happens. I think enough of 95% become 100%. Yeah. So
even if you just hit 95, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. So you made a lot of interesting points that I hadn't considered. The region is something I didn't really pay attention to. But when I listen to you, the next question that I think about, I'm like, okay, if I have identified the type of structure and the type of content that is working in this region, where I'm struggling, for example, personally, even on YouTube, I actually had a call with my coach the other day. We had a check-in call. It's been a couple months. I'm like, there's some new things I need to ask you about, you know? I realized my issue is my show is incredibly diverse. I talk to everyone about everything. You know, I can have you today, I can have a chef tomorrow, I can have a fisherman next week. Like, it's very broad. And that, at least on YouTube, he told me that, Khaled, listen, you're going to have to make a choice. Yeah. Either you can start niching down into some areas, whatever, or keep going where you're going. It's not that it won't work. It's just going to take you a lot longer because the algorithms are just confused. So bringing that concept now into what you just said, like with the algorithm, is it more important for me to pay attention to the algorithm or put more effort into the algorithm, or pay more attention to being known for a certain type of content?
It depends on your objective and where you are. So if you're starting out, it's different. But if you're already famous, that's completely different again. So usually, like this guy who I made this video for, he barely gets any reach. He doesn't even get 300, 400 views, and he struggles to get 15,000 views. So I just want people to see him. That's my first objective, right? I just want him, like I want people in Dubai or people in the UAE to know that the name American in Dubai exists on TikTok. Or I even want TikTok to take notice of him. It's good and it's bad. It's good because people are going to notice you. You're going to get 40,000, 50,000 views. But it's bad because now you have a bigger problem, which is this is not what I'm trying to give as a message. I'm a real estate broker. I'm not trying to sell chairs. I'm trying to sell property. So now people are coming to my channel to buy chairs, right? And my argument with that is nobody gives a shit about your property. No one's coming to buy your property anyways. Might as well let them come here, look around at the chairs for now, till you figure out a structure unique to you that works, you know? And so, I mean, in your podcast thing, I mean, I agree with the coach. You definitely need to niche down. But in TikTok, my strategy always is hit structures that are existing and that are viral, do 3, 4, 5 of them, get awareness, and then start hitting structures that niche down into your focus group.
So you think I think you made a good point that different stages will give you a different strategy, different approach, because I was thinking of this, and even Ibrahim and I touched on this, was that it seems like you have to, he said it great, he's like, bro, you go viral, you have to be dumb.
Yes.
You have to just act dumb. For some reason, that makes things go viral, and then like you can become smart in a way and become known for like a certain type of content, whatever. Because I remember listening to you, I know you went through many content transitions.
Yes.
So initially you were making fun of, I think it was the Daisy stuff, then the Gary V, and then
podcast.
Podcast too. So you mentioned it's easy to grow on TikTok compared to other platforms. Yeah. Now, okay, I can only speak from my experience. That is not the case at all. I think TikTok actually is very hard. At least I'm finding it very difficult. The question I start to think about is, when you think about, like, I think this applies to any type of content that you're doing, packaging.
Yeah.
Now, packaging, honestly, with YouTube was the biggest unlock for me ever. Yeah. Understanding title, thumbnail, how many characters, SEO, like the psychology of it. And now recently I hired an editor, so we also make those fancier intros now. So even with that, now when I'm editing, I have to sit and be like, oh, this would be a good part, or this would be a good part. I have like 60 clips, and then I have to niche down, I have to do the packaging, and then I'll funnel it into that. Now, packaging is, I think, one of the areas that I think packaging is probably the biggest bottleneck in a lot of content creators' things. Now, in the YouTube context, I understand it, but in TikTok, I don't. Like, I understand you want a hook and like all that, but I still think there's a way to package on TikTok that I don't think myself and the general public would be aware of. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. The best way to look at packaging in TikTok is to go back to your liked videos, right? And see what made you like this video. And usually it's like the first frame itself. It's what's being shown in the first frame. It's the visual hook. It's what's being said. And it's what's happening. So it's either you already expected that from that creator. So if you come to my channel, you already know I'm sitting in a podcast setting. I'm going to say some dumb shit. And I'm going to end it with, isn't that concerning? So that is my packaging. But like sometimes it could be like for this chair example, what I did is if you look at that video, you'll see I wrote before and I put the price, and I put after and I put the price. So before the video even started, the price was already there. And people had this expectation that he's going to talk about how this chair was worth $5,600 and now it's worth $1,600 or whatever. And then the video is of the guy sitting on the chair. It doesn't start with like, hey guys, today we're at the chair shop and we're going to, no. He's sitting on the chair and he asks, how much is this chair for? So there's no better way to package any video. In a podcast, for example, I don't introduce myself in my clips. I just go, like, I asked a question recently, which went super viral. If sleep is good for your brain, then why don't schools allow you to sleep in class? Right?
That's a good point.
Now, that question is the packaging.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not giving you a chance. The second you've reached my channel, my page, my video, I'm not giving you a chance to scroll away without finishing that question. And then you see the guy sitting on the other side is also me. And then you're like, what the hell is going on here? And then I ended before you even realize it.
Yeah.
You know? But that's me. That's my style. But I saw a video recently which is 10 minutes long on TikTok with 1 million views.
Wow.
And the video started off with, this was their hook. Who can run faster? Like, there's this guy who eats hot dogs at the fastest speed. I don't know his name. Versus Usain Bolt. So he was trying to do this math. Like, does the guy who eat the hot dog faster, like, at what speed would he have to run to beat Usain Bolt if the measure was the speed at which he ate the hot dog?
That's so funny.
That's the hook.
Yeah, yeah.
But the guy drags that out for 10 minutes. And it was brilliant. So I guess in TikTok, it's just how fast can you question, answer, and deliver before people even realize it. Because it's just brain rot. Like, people are scrolling constantly.
Yeah,
right?
It's death scrolling. Yeah. So funny that you mentioned. First of all, that's a hilarious example.
Yeah,
That's a great concept. But when you put it like that, it's very similar to how I think about YouTube in terms of like in terms of the intro, whatever. Because obviously I'm looking at the data and whatever. What I've realized now is I feel like my packaging is I'm not nailed. Yeah, you can always improve on it, but I've understood packaging now. I've got it nailed down. Like, I know title, thumbnail, whatever. Like, I can paint, outcome, like, I get it, it works, and I've been testing it out. But even sometimes it's funny, sometimes you think, yeah, this is the packaging, and then it doesn't do well, and then maybe you'll just change the thumbnail to like different wording, and like that will work. You have no idea. But with the challenge on YouTube now, that in this content creation space, and this applies to TikTok too, is what is a term that you probably have heard around: retention hacking. So I had a guest on the podcast, and he was telling me how, for example, and this is what he was telling me, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I will take his word for it, that apparently Diary of a CEO, for example, he's like, they shoot in 15-minute segments.
Oh, okay.
He's like, they shoot 15 minutes, and then they'll cut, and then a reset, and then continue again. I didn't know that. I hope that's true.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, just the idea is, so it's always value to keep you coming. You know what I'm saying? So that is the future. Like, that is the secret for the next 5 to 10 years of content creation.
Forever, bro.
That's
I think
it.
forever, through time.
You think so?
Look at the best movies and the best shows. How does every episode end?
Cliffhanger.
And you need to see the next one.
yeah, you do.
Like, I don't know if you've seen anime Attack on Titans.
Of course, bro. Oh, bro.
I think that show beat Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Prison Break, everything for me.
But anime beats all that shit anyway.
I had never watched anime in my life.
What?
Someone put me on that shit like 3 weeks ago. And I became chronically depressed after the ending of the show. But like, I was watching the show with like 5 years of short form content experience, right? And I was like, wow, they're implementing what we see in TikTok today in anime. And every episode ends with a reason for me to come back to the next episode. So in TikTok, every second needs to be a reason for them to stay another second. In YouTube, every intro needs to be and you need to deliver on that. And like, that's the 0 and the 1 of the content world. That's the programming language.
Yeah.
And you understand that, you are successful not only in content, you can be successful in movies, TV, whatever, So I think that's just been true throughout. And the answer is very simple. Like, you need to make something worth people's attention, but it just changes in every medium.
Yeah.
Like, when you're watching anime or when you're watching a show, you're sitting in front of a TV, you're giving more attention. You're now on a sofa and you're there to watch that for at least 30, 20 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're on your phone, it's less. Maybe a minute, maybe 30 seconds, And I think that's the only difference that's there. But it's just scaled down. It's the same thing otherwise.
Honestly, when you put it in that context, it makes perfect sense. Like when you brought it into just like a show example or whatever, I'm like, yeah, of course. You've always built, and then I'm like, fuck, I have to see this next one. Like, where are you? Please give it to me.
And sometimes the shows are a drag. Sometimes they're like
on purpose.
They're maybe they're trying to just kill time, and you feel it. But you're already committed. You're too deep into the story.
Too deep. I gotta know what happens. Yeah.
I actually heard someone talk about this. I don't know who it was. One of the creators, and they're like, the future of short form is creating like mini TV shows. And actually, there's an app also for this, where they've made miniature TV series that are 60-second long.
Interesting.
I forgot the name. It's a Japanese app or something where they've shot high production, like real life show, like it's scripted shows, like they show like a scene of a guy and a girl.
So it's like a Netflix show that's split up into like 160-second clips.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw the app also, and I watched it, and it's like those Facebook videos, like those clips of those movies. It's exactly like that. There's a huge audience for them. Like there's value over there as well for like people who are trying to like get into that stuff. But yeah, man.
So I'm curious for you now, because what I've learned, everyone seems now to want, like, even with the podcast, like even with guests and whatever, they're always like, oh, I want the shorts. Which I get, because it's the formula is shorts to get you the attention. You want to keep driving people to the long form. Long form, they spend more time with you, more familiarity. They trust you, builds your brand. So when you want to deliver to that audience, you're a trusted resource. You're not coming by accident. But I think people still like long form now is picking up more. Even the creators I follow on YouTube, like a lot of chefs, a lot of these guys, I'm looking at this, like the time on these videos, they're like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. And I'm sitting and watching the whole thing, like Sidemen stuff, like for example. And I'm like, but there's still such a demand for this short form thing. And this kind of brings me on to my next point, views. Now, it was very interesting hearing what you said about views. You're like, views is the sum of all those hidden metrics behind it. And when you said that, I'm like, actually, that's such a great way to put it. And I never thought of it like that. And it's a very important metric. Now, I don't disagree that it's an important metric, but kind of like what you touched on earlier, I think it depends on what is my objective.
Yeah.
Is my objective just exposure and reach and fame and validation, whatever? That's one way. Views is all about that. Or is it to build my business? So that's where, like for me, when I talk, because with clients and podcasting, they're like, Khalid, views, whatever. I'm like, guys, the views, I think podcasting is also a bit unique compared to other forms of content creation because, for example, let's use this podcast as an example. And I'll be 100% honest with everyone. I've been doing this now 5 years. I've made 0 dirhams from this podcast. I've made 1 dirham from this podcast. But I have met over 200 people.
Nice.
That has built my business, which has generated me hundreds of thousands.
Nice.
So,
by the way, same applies to my TikTok.
There you go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Could you tell us about how? Because I remember you talked about it in the thing. You're like, you didn't want to though. You told me. You said tie your TikTok to your business. Yeah. But you have an agency now as well, which is interesting.
When I started my agency, I was like on 50,000 TikTok followers, and the rest was nothing. Nothing else existed for me. And when I started my agency, I was coming from a background of like 1 year working in a media company where I did influencer management. And I realized while doing influencer management that 95 or maybe 100% of the market is getting scammed. You're paying 20,000, 40,000 dirhams to an influencer to come promote your place, and then that reach disappears after 2 days because it's only there as long as the post is there, and then the influencer is going to post something else the next day. And it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. Like there are some great influencers who can promote stuff and get you good business, but it's not applicable to all businesses. Like if you're a business starting out, you're new, I don't think influencer marketing should be your go-to to spread awareness. I think you should try and become the influencer. So that was my mindset. And I also realized that if I am going to go down this route and depend on my followers and my reach to become, successful and have money, it's not going to work out. It's not sustainable. And also because I don't believe in it. I was like, I would rather go and help brands become the influencers, and I'll also build my page on the side because that's just like, it's kind of like, I believe in this thing and here's proof of that. So I believe in going viral, and it's good for your business. And so I'm also going to go viral. And I didn't even speak about my agency once. And I'm going to make people go viral. So what eventually happened is that the agency became a source of income, fueled my content. At the same time, I was able to upgrade my gear. And every now and then I'd get a nice collaboration, and I would pump right back into buying equipment. You know?
Yeah.
And that's what I've believed in.
No, and bro, it's so funny. It's everything here. It's copy paste
Yeah.
what you said. Literally, the agency
Yeah.
is what generates the revenue. While this, because
Yes.
I'm not in a. This is a passion. Like
Yeah.
I fucking love this what we're doing right
Yeah.
now. This is having a conversation
Amazing.
is my favorite thing in the world. So for me, I'm like I'm gonna be doing this forever. So even all these new people
Yes.
that are coming into podcasting now, I'm like. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, there's more competition. Do I have to do better? Of course I do.
You have
Because
to
now
improve.
Fahad's 1 hour of time is not just my podcast against 3 podcasts. It's mine now against like 100 podcasts.
Yeah.
So there is definitely
Yeah.
something there, but I know in a couple of years, not even in a year, 2 years, you won't be there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to still be going
Yes.
because I just love doing this.
You're in a marathon there in a sprint for like 100.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And I feel you're the same
Yeah.
with content creation. And you talked about how, so you built your platform and your audience now. And this kind of brings us, touches on what we were talking about earlier in the conversation. Now, I know you mentioned you want to start delivering from just being like funny, not to remove that, but you want to deliver value, right?
Yeah.
You said you want to start delivering, like I have this great platform. How can I help more people? Like
Yeah.
what value could I share
Yeah.
with them? So I'm curious for you because you are an influencer, but you don't come across as the typical ones
Yeah.
that we see
Yeah.
all around, which I really, by the way, admire and respect. It's very nice
Thank
to see
you.
one that's like humble, down to earth, and genuinely like just wants to help. Just wants to
Yeah.
help people. So I guess what's your vision for the next evolution of Fahad's content? Like, what's the value you want to be delivering? Have you figured out your niche or what you want to do?
Honestly, bro, no. Like in our last panel discussion when we were sitting, I remember I was talking about killing. Isn't that concerning?
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
How long ago was that? 3 months? 2 months?
Yeah, 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
And I stopped posting stuff for Isn't That Concerning. At that point, I wasn't posting enough content as well. Like for the first time in 3 years, I wasn't posting content. I've never missed a day in like 3 years. I had stopped posting
Mashallah.
videos because I was just like, what am I doing? What's next? And I was stuck on 3.9 million followers. Instagram was like dropping. I hit 700K and it dropped back to 694K because people are going to stop following you and like there's nothing coming up. And I was asking this exact same question. What is next for me? And so then I experimented. And then I experimented with the whole football thing. I launched this series of videos and this channel called FIFA League, which was basically a parody of FIFA. And it was called Federation of Elite Football Association.
I didn't know that's what it stood for.
Yeah, and the goal was I'm going to now bring people who don't know how to play football, your everyday Joe. There could be 40-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever, who has zero skill, and I'm going to make them compete for money in like a league. And I did that. I got a sponsor, my very own first client, Casa Milano, huge shout out. He's always trusted in me, who sponsored the whole thing. We gave away 10,000 dirhams. And at the end of the video, a guy who's never played football in his life properly won the 10,000 dirhams. And like I was doing the math, like if I can keep doing this, will I be able to start this movement where actual professional football players make less than like stupid football players? So that was like my whole take on that. And it kind of burnt me out because YouTube is a different monster. And I wasn't trying to do it for short form. I was doing it for YouTube. I had like 6 cameras, GoPros. The timeline was hell. Like audio, video layers. And
I'm closing my eyes, seeing that Premiere Pro thing. I want to throw up from all that.
And I worked on that like for like 2-3 weeks. And that was my entire life. And then I stopped because I got only like 800, 900 views at the end of everything. And I just stopped. I was like, okay, I had to ask myself this question. Are you going to commit to this for the next 8 years? I was like, I don't know. So if I have doubt in something, I'm not going to push myself. So I took a step back again. And what I figured out this trend, it's very lazy. I don't know if you've seen those mentality edits on TikTok. They write mentality, like literally on the center of the video. and then they play a clip, and then it stops. It goes black screen with a low bass sound, and then the clip continues again with another clip. You'll see it.
Oh yeah, that.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
these.
one.
Yeah.
So I saw other pages taking my 3-year-old content, compiling it, and getting millions of views. I was like, I'm gonna try one. I tried one. It got 3 million views, but the views was normal. I've gotten 3 million views. It was the followers that was insane. I jumped 20,000 followers.
Wow.
So compiling old viral videos gave me access to 20,000 new people to follow me. Why? I don't know. It's just something very new, by the way. This is something that I've just learned now. Like I've never spoken about this before in podcast. And in fact, I was against reposting old content even. But just compiling old good content of mine gave me access, and I went from 3.9 to 4 for the first time. In 1 year, I was stuck. I jumped to 4 million. On Instagram, I'm now at 711,000. So I jumped from 694 to, what's 10,000 up? 694. Like
So
704. I jumped maybe more than 15,000 followers, right? And I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's just old content. Maybe it's the trend. I saw Mr. Beast also did the trend, by the way, recently. He did a Mr. Beast mentality. And so now I'm just like, I don't know what's next, but I got to keep the followers coming in. So I'm going to stick to this. I have like 700 isn't that concerning clips. I'm going to spend maybe the next 2-3 months compiling them, making a few new ones. Because like you are at the mercy of the algorithm to a certain degree after you've created something. And like I asked one guy, one of my friends, who follows my content, I'm like, bro, like I'm sick and tired of this. Isn't that concerning? He's like, no, bro. I'm looking for my daily dose of isn't that concerning. Like when he said that to me, I was like, wow, like people wake up with an expectation from me that what is he going to say today? So maybe I shouldn't kill it. Maybe if 4 million people have that expectation, it's worth something. You know, even if I'm not monetizing it or I'm not. It's some sort of a service to the community. Maybe someone's having a shitty day and they watch that and feel good.
Yeah.
So maybe I won't kill it for now, and I'll just stick to it. Maybe I'm a slave to it. I don't know. But as long as it's working, as long as the reach is coming, I guess there's no complaints. Like the problem is when you don't get reach. It's not when you have the reach. And from here on, what's the next step to give value back to people? I mean, I've created multiple videos in the past of like how to create content and stuff, but there's so many people offering that.
There are.
I mean, I'm sure like people offer it much better in a much better delivery than I do even, you know? So I don't know.
People still would be, but people, despite that, like even though if this guy can explain it to me, whatever, because of what you've built on your platform and your brand, people will still be like, no, I still rather work. Like, thank you, but I'd still rather, you know.
I have a YouTube channel. It's called The Creator Manual. I've uploaded like 7-8 videos over there explaining content in my own language.
Yeah.
I even launched a course a year ago. I ran it for 2 months.
How did that go? I've been on the fence about this course thing. I'm not the biggest fan of it, honestly.
I launched it with like extreme resistance towards the idea, but like eventually like people pushed me into it. So I worked with this group of guys, super smart, who were working on school.com specifically, and they had a cut in my whole thing. And for me, it was less about the money, more about can I help people. But what I realized is that people don't show up. So someone paid $100 and didn't show up for anything. So I was like, this is haram money, man. Like, I'm getting the $100. Like, I felt bad. It's not haram. Like, you pay for an Emirates ticket.
Yeah. You don't use it.
You don't use it. It's your bad. It's not wrong on the business, right? But like, I was like, do I really want to build more on this where like I'm gonna have like an empty class and like fully paid off 1 month? I don't know. It just didn't feel right. Like I was like, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my time sitting over there and like I'm getting like, I don't know. I felt wrong. So I cut it off. I just dropped it.
That's fair. I can understand that and appreciate that because like, yeah, you paid that $100, I want you to get your $100 of value, you know,
at least see what,
you know, but I'm a great example. So I've taken so many online courses. Do I finish all of them? No, it depends on the speaker, the course, the time in my life, whatever. But this kind of I wanted to come on to data. So this has been the biggest, like, it's still now my biggest frustration because data is emotionless. Whether you like it, you don't like it, you want to cry, you want to jump up and down, the data is the fucking data. The problem is, and this, I'm speaking here, even myself, guys, right here. For example, if I was my clients, I always tell them, like, guys, when we're going to launch your podcast, we are going to go fucking laser niche. Laser niche. You are investing in this. So I want to give you the best results as quickly as possible. Therefore, niching is 100% the best way to do it. In my case, okay, it's a passion project. It's different. And
it's different.
the data is telling me, bro, this is why it's hard for you to grow because you're so diverse. But I'm making the conscious choice to be like, I'm like, I will pay for this frustration to continue doing it in the way I love to do it, because that's what's kind of gotten me here. So I'm like, okay, we'll get there. You know, I'll get there eventually. But this is, I think there's a mindset shift that you kind of have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Do I want to listen to this and really implement it and give me the best chance of hitting this? Or do I want to just keep doing things, you know, my way? If I came to you like now as a client and I told you that, what would you be telling me?
Bro, I was in exactly your shoes when I started off with content. So I've always had this need to be original, unique, don't copy anyone, do what you love style of content since day one. So even my early on content was, the first pieces of content on TikTok were making fun of gin. Right?
Yeah, I've seen this.
I had never seen that on anywhere on the app, and I was lucky that I was early and it worked. And then I was making fun of Desi parents, already done, but I was doing it in my style. And I realized very quickly that there's the commercial side to things, and then there's the personal side to things. And you need to find you need to find dead center.
Well said.
You need to find what works commercially and what works personally. And if you can't do that, it's a tug of war, and you'll be either too personal or you'll be either too commercial. And I just I had this ego death with myself. You know, I killed the artist in me, so to speak. I was like, shut up and work and do what people want to do, right? People want to listen to. And that's how I found, like, I was not passionate to make fun of Gary Vee, but I saw a lot of Gary Vee on my social that I made it my job that now I am going to figure out how to make this viral. I was not passionate about podcasts. You think, bro, I never in my million lifetimes would have imagined before the age of 21 that I'm going to one day be known across the globe for making fun of podcasts. I had never had, not the remote, like, you know, growing up, he always held a mic. Oh yeah, we always saw him sitting. Never, bro. But like when I saw the opportunity, I remember, I'll never forget, I saw this channel called Jumpers Jump Podcast. It's a podcast channel in the US. It's clips mainly, but they have a YouTube channel as well. And they do conspiracy theories, similar to Ibrahim. But he does more haunted stuff, right? And I was looking at him, and I saw their structure. I saw the way they were talking, and it was the same repeated like it was very dumbed down content. I was like, okay, let me try and make fun of them. And that was the inception of podcast. So this is not my passion, but this is what people, like, they had 3-4 million followers back then. So I was like, this is what people are giving attention to. And I think I can make myself like this 5%. Right? I'm okay doing this. And so even today, bro, like I don't love Isn't That Concerning podcast. Like I told you, I wanted to kill it. Right? And I almost did. But I realized real quickly that it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to go back to this. So that's the commercial Fahad work. And I think that was a learning curve over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like it was going to military school, it was being disciplined, because you work with enough businesses, you work with enough clients. And I think that's the same case in business. Like if you make a piece of, unless you're like Picasso or something, if you make a piece of art, you know, and nobody gives a shit about it, then it's a piece of shit art.
Yeah.
It's only art to you. But if you make something that enough people can appreciate, then now you have an actual functioning machine, right? Where there's a trade-off for attention, for what you create. And you're actually like, you're getting back something. Like even if you don't get paid, you're getting people's awareness on you. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's my mindset on it.
No, I think the point you made about that distinction between personal and commercial, you said it, that's everything right there. And again, it's a choice that you're going to have to make. You can go down Fahad's route, the full military guy, and his results speak for themselves. Or you can go down Khalid's route, which will take you a lot longer. But I still love what I do. So there's no right or wrong here. You know, we both
it's personal preferences.
Exactly. We both reached where we have doing it our way. So I don't think one goes without the other. When you talked about, you said podcasts now are the meta. And just to talk about podcasts for a sec. And I love the way you described it as this is luxury content. It's a premium audience, and this is something that a lot of people, even clients, still don't understand. Like the value of a listener. Like now that you're putting an effort into YouTube. When you get even if you get one view, that one view means everything because you know how hard it was to get that one. That one view. So I'm curious, when you transitioned into turning into a podcast, was it, besides YouTube, just as that format of content creation, was it a struggle for you? Did you have to shift your mindset, understand that this has to be done kind of differently?
100%, bro. Like I was used to grabbing my phone wherever I am, recording with a mic on, right? Or without a mic on even. Don't care about the lighting. Don't care about anything. Just record raw. But when I started doing this, isn't that concerning? In the beginning, it was not in a podcast setup. Like my early videos was just an iPhone on a tissue box facing me and then recording myself on the other side. And then those are the videos. And I realized that if I have to deliver to the audience that likes this type of content, I have to level up. So I was invited on a podcast like this 4 years ago by some guy. He actually used to be famous. His name was Fahad as well. I don't know where he is now. He invited me to that studio, the Podster, which was not Podster back. And when I shot there, I was like, look at this quality. I feel like if I deliver this to my audience, they're going to love it. Like, not that I love coming and sitting in the studio and recording. I'd have to drive all the way from Sharjah to Internet City, sit in the studio and record. But I was like, I feel like if I pay, it was 450 or 350 back then. If I pay this money, rent this studio, and put this content out there, I'm basically taking like this joke that I'm going even more seriously. Like I'm giving my audience this real look and feel to my content. And that was definitely difficult in the beginning. Like I'm now giving up whatever I've known, whatever I've learned, and this is what's working. And I said, whatever, man, F it. Like I went for it.
If this
works, it works.
It's
like you have to kind of have to go. You have to, how in like a video game, you have progress. You have to kill all that progress and start it again.
Erase the memory card, refresh. You got to start
fresh. Pissing off.
It's
really pissing off.
It is.
But that's life.
That's so true.
Isn't that concerning?
Isn't that? Man, so it was on the podcasting thing, as you were talking about it, I was thinking like, because to shift from the type of content you were making, podcast, okay, you're still doing your type of content. It's not like an interview like this. So, but you still have to like now. It's a much longer form content. Yes. You have to. It's not just about did this question and then you're gone. No. It's like this question and let me tell you how I've seen you and Ibrahim do a couple of times. How do you think about it? How do I think about it? It's really taking it to like the next level. And you said something very interesting on the podcast that nowadays, like if you want to compete as a podcast, you want to compete with the top 5 podcasts in that format, it's gonna be a struggle. For example. And I mentioned this on the podcast before. Diary of a CEO, we started at the same time. I have 321 subscribers, and I love you all. Thank you very much. He has 9 million. Wow. Okay, so and this kind of touches on like the marketing aspect. Yeah. And you talked about how if you want to stand out, you need to do something like a different format, something different. And we talked about content is so weird, bro, because you want to be original, but everyone's copying from each other. You
Yeah.
know, like there's a certain type of thumbnail for podcasts that everyone does. There's a
Yes.
certain way to do intros. There's a certain da-da-da-da. And then one guy will like innovate and everyone be like, no. Like Dive CEO, I even know, but I watch him like a fucking hawk.
Yeah.
I see now even his thumbnails have changed. Now he has
Yeah.
more AI stuff behind him.
Yeah.
More interesting. And now watch over the next like year,
Yeah.
6 months, everyone's going to start making, you know.
Yes.
So there's this like strive to be original. At the same time, there's stuff that already works, and there's that whole debate like, why reinvent the wheel
Yes.
if it's 95% done? But
Yes.
it's this 5% where you can be original.
Yes.
But even that is very hard, and that's been the biggest, not in terms of marketing, has been my Achilles heel throughout this whole podcast, and it touches on because people are like, oh, I tell people, yeah, you need to be consistent.
Bro, like for me, it was a taboo if I would copy someone, right? Prior to the commercial world of content. Like if I'm going to create a concept, I'm going to think it in my own mind. Even if it's done anywhere else in the world, I'm going to come up with it. I'll take references, I'll take inspiration. But I always believed before I entered the commercial world that everything has to be original. But when you enter the commercial world of content or media and you have bills to pay, you don't really have the time to be original, right?
True. Very true.
You don't have the freedom of 5 years of thinking of an idea and making it the perfect idea and blowing it up. In the commercial world, your client needs that video on Monday, right? Edited and posted. Not for approval, edited and posted. It should have been approved like on Sunday or something, you know?
Yeah.
So I was forced to take this approach of inspire, modify, recreate. So whatever is existing out there, like for my so real estate TikTok content, I have memorized the structures that worked in the US, changed the word US to UAE, and repackaged it and resold it. And that's just the only way I have found success for anything. And isn't that concerning? Isn't that concerning was an existing podcast structure, which was being done in Conspiracy Theories by Jumpers Jump Podcast, inspired me. I didn't go into the conspiracy route. I went into the paradoxical, nonsensical route. Same structure, and just my video ends with, isn't that concerning? So is it really original? I don't think so. It's just a variation of what already exists. And what are human beings? Just variations of each other. Like, what is like any product that you have, like, unless or until you're going to, I don't know, discover wireless electricity, you know, like invent a material, like to the atomic level, you can't create something. No thought is original, right?
True.
We love to believe that we created something. No, we discovered it. Fire already existed. We didn't invent fire. It already existed. You just discovered it. Einstein didn't create the laws of whatever, you know, he stumbled upon it. Newton had the apple fall on him. He stumbled upon it and he just put it together. So everyone who's like arguing with each other, like about being original today, it was never possible. And I think Allah was the only creator, man. Like, everything else after that, we discover it and we can adapt and we can modify it. You can try to be yourself as maximum, but there's a lot of yourselves out there. You know?
That's right.
You can't really, it's very philosophical, you know, as its own, the whole statement, like to be original. I think people take it the wrong way. I took it the wrong way for the longest time. And the second I let go of the idea, bro, like going viral, creating content, doing anything, it's super easy. A laundry business works. Open another laundry, it'll work. You don't have to be original.
In terms of like process, it will work.
It's a structure, it works.
Yes.
A cafeteria works, open another cafeteria, it works. But I guess you have to pick your route. Like, which one do you like?
Exactly.
There's so many options.
Exactly.
Right?
And there's that famous saying, you know, every I've heard it about like artists. Every art is like just a remix of like something else. You know, every artist was inspired by some guy before, and then he added this stroke, and you're like, wow. Crazy! Wow! Oh my God! How did he come up with
music? Is like that.
Music, of course.
You know, I used to DJ, so I've seen that.
Oh, I used to DJ too.
Yeah, I used to seen that like on the wavelength level. I've seen like, in DJing there's this BPM, right? And then there's keys. Like on virtual DJ you get an average key of the song.
Oh, you see?
Yeah, bro. I was
all
DJ
days.
So C minor, 130 BPM. All the songs in that key and that BPM sound like each other. And that's why it's easy to
The
make
easy
sense.
to exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's seamless. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But the see that I'm happy you brought up that point of being like the be original point, because I think now you see this on LinkedIn, you see it everywhere. It's an actual legitimate thing that I think people are maybe have taken it the wrong way, like we did, through our journeys. Everyone's like, be original, be authentic, be authentic. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that being authentic means? Am I just sharing my true feelings about certain things? I think that's just what it is, isn't it?
In my opinion, like being authentic is just like your perspective, your remix of an existing thing.
Hey, that's such a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's your version of the remix of, like, this is Fahad's remix of podcast. You like it, listen to it. You don't, it's fine. And so that's the commercial part. If you didn't like Fahad's remix of podcast, now we're going to show you a Fahad's remix of gin videos. You didn't like that? Okay, we're going to now try Fahad's remix of Desi Parents. Fahad's remix of... Bro, I even have a series within this podcast that I stumbled upon where, Dave Ramsey?
Yeah.
The financial guy. So I copied his old structure and I talked to myself on the phone where I have 3 million in debt.
You're joking.
It's called
That's great.
It's called Fahad Consults.
That's great.
Okay, and there's like a few videos on TikTok. I stopped it because it took too long.
Yeah,
It just took too long.
It's
'Cause
hard to do.
I have to plan the conversation with myself on the phone.
Yeah.
But they went viral, and like Dave Ramsey has a structure. He's on the show. He gets a call. The call is someone who messed up big time with their money, and he starts off with like, "Are you stupid?" Like something like that.
Yeah.
So I started doing the most ridiculous
version of that. Yeah.
Like I was like, I have 3 million in debt because I took taxi to work every day for the last 5 years. And like, why didn't you just buy a car? Like I'm having this dumb conversation with myself. So it's not original, but it's my remix of what exists.
That is such a great line, by the way. You should quote that, date it. We're going to put it, we'll put it in.
You heard it here first.
Your perspective is your remix on life is so true, by the way. When you put it in all those different contexts, I'm like, in Khalid's mind, I'm like, oh, of course.
Yes.
As if I didn't know it before, but now when you saying it, I'm like, it's like double. Yeah. I'm even more aware than I used to be. I wanted to round off the conversation for today, man, with a couple more questions. I wanted to definitely touch on this because I want the audience to take away something that they can start using today.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot today about more of the psychology of like the different platforms, watch times, TikTok, whatever, all that. But since you're the expert in TikTok, what are some simple, but don't think about it from the story, what are simple stuff I can do on the app to help get me now more reach? Do I have to use different hashtags? Do I have to be posting a similar type of content, so my podcast, for example, and it kind of touches on what we were saying earlier, there's the algorithm and the audience, but it won't build because the algorithm is looking at Khalid's page and it's like, what is this?
What you said earlier in the beginning of this podcast, you said something which I forgot completely and now you brought it back. You were like, I was looking at these other podcast clips and I was asking over these videos and why did it go viral? That's the first step, bro. Your ability to critically analyze the why of why it went viral is very important. And I think anyone can be a Ronaldo in that space. It just requires a lot of trial and error. Like the more content, don't scroll on TikTok to entertain yourself. Scroll on TikTok to educate yourself.
Research,
right? So when you're scrolling on TikTok and TikTok is suggesting content to you, kind of take a back seat and be like, why was this suggested to me? And why did this this specific video get the opportunity to be on my phone?
And why do I want to watch it?
Yeah. When you ask this question, a lot of things will start becoming very clear. The obvious answer for why it came to your page is because you gave TikTok signals from previous content that made it think that you want to watch something. Attack on Titans, bro. Since I finished watching this show.
It's all you have, right?
I have every fourth video as Attack on Titans. And you'll see in the comments section in different TikToks sometimes, people go I built this FYP brick by brick. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
Basically, it's a saying that people say that I told the algorithm that this is what I want to watch.
Oh, I love that. That's very true. Very true.
Fed the algorithm data from me as a user that I want to watch this, and so I'm getting more of this. And sometimes it's on like stupid memes. So that's the first step. Like, why are you getting this content? And how much of you are there in the world that are getting this content? So if the content that you're getting is super viral with 5 million, 10 million likes, that means you're one of the data points, like 10 million other people that are liking this content. Okay, next question. Can I make this? It's a very simple yes or no, right? And if it's a yes, can I make this without getting bored for like the next 1 year minimum? You know?
Ah, okay, good. Is that the kind of, because I say this to clients who like, this is not an TikTok might be a little bit different because I think you can see results a lot faster.
Yeah.
Podcasting, I'm like, don't even think about anything, change, whatever, until you've done at least 1 year or 12 episodes, which is like one a month.
I mean, TikTok, you can know the answer in like 6 videos.
There you go.
Okay? But I say 1 year, like, because if it works, in 1 year you could be at 1 million followers. Guaranteed. Like, all based off of, like, I brought I brought like 4 or 5 accounts to 1 million plus.
MashaAllah, man. Wow.
Right?
That's
so all of
awesome.
them, alhamdulillah, all of them, it was always one style of content that worked, blew them up. Right? And my own page as well is a result of that 4x. So that's like a therapy session that you'll have with yourself. You get that answer, you'll eventually find something you like doing. Like if you like podcasting, you'll find a ton shit of content on podcasting. And you'll see some podcasts, like recently I saw a podcast clip of someone talking about how your thoughts shape your world. And if I were to start a podcast, maybe it would be about that. Maybe it would be about how words are and thoughts are powerful, and philosophy in general. Maybe I would then try to niche down in that, and I would try to talk about the topics that were being discussed in that clip, you know, if I was going down that route. But it could be a guy who's into fishing. You know, you're into fishing, you found a video that went viral because of you saw something in fishing. You can see why that fishing video is viral. Maybe it's the weight of the fish, maybe it's the type of the fish, and base your content off of that.
Yeah.
But you won't get results immediately. And you'll have to keep tweaking, and you'll have to keep tweaking it in the right direction. It's very important for people to realize that, because you don't want to end up at the end of the marathon in the wrong direction. You walked all this way for nothing.
Yeah, very true.
Like, have that
end goal in mind. Build towards that.
Be able to tweak your direction.
Exactly. I'm curious. So as we've talked about today, being a content creator is fucking hard. Lots of time, energy, money. But now also, you're an entrepreneur and a business owner, and you have your own agency. And you've been the agency now has been around 2 years?
5 years.
5 years. So I'm curious now, because you've been creating content and running an agency now for the same amount of time. So you've been an entrepreneur and doing this for the same amount of time. What have you found to be harder, and like, what are the difference? Like, how have they helped play into each other?
So, like, there was always a challenge to create content running an agency, because there was a point of time in my life where I wake up, and by the time I sleep, all I've done is I've gone to shoots and eat in between. You know, that was my life. So where do you get the time to shoot your own content? So isn't that concerning? Was actually a race to find a format where I can bulk shoot and go viral. Like, I was always looking for content where I would have to put less effort, get the most output out of. So that's how I settled for podcasts. That was my journey. And commercial content taught me that. Commercial content taught me that you need to be able to bulk shoot. You need to be able to be ready in advance for your page to keep growing. And personal content just, I don't know, the personal part of me just helped me pick.
Gotcha.
You know, it just helped me pick which direction to go into. But the commercial really disciplined me, I would say.
Okay.
In the way I run my own channel, you know. But in the long run, like, I don't see myself shooting commercially for the rest of my life. Like, I would rather shoot for myself.
Yeah.
And I be the client. And so, the last 5 years was just a race with making sure clients are going viral and making sure my own content is going viral. But if I had to pick, I would over 1 billion times pick my own content. And like, someone said this to me the other day. It's like, if someone gave you $1 million right now, would you stop shooting content for yourself? And the answer is no. Like, I would shoot it for the F of it.
Yeah, I'd still be doing this podcast.
Yeah, I would just, $1 million is great, but like this is what I do. This is my thing.
Yeah.
It's like my small thing. I wake up, take a shower, post an Isn't That Concerning video. The day goes by.
Yeah.
It's my thing.
Yeah. I get you.
You can't take away my thing from my brain unless I find another thing.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And I think when that commercial experience, I can see how it has been helpful, even with my experience, because we have done what we do and we have learned it ourselves, right? So for us, it's like, oh yeah, I'll just do this, do that. But when you have to systematize it and I have to explain it to you and help you get the same result, it forces you to be like, to create frameworks and structure and be
I didn't
planned.
have any structure. Or
Yeah, who the
before.
fuck did?
Nothing,
Bro.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It really, like, this was my university, bro.
Yeah. That's a great way to put
university.
it. Yeah, absolutely, man. I just wanted to round off, Fahad, with 3 more questions, and this one's a bit more on the personal side, if you don't mind.
Yes,
and you can very comfortable if you don't want to answer. So you mentioned earlier that you dealt with depression when you were younger.
Yeah.
And I understood that you were also the class clown when you were younger too.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Ibrahim about this, and lots of other content creators. They're like, yeah, this content creation space is mentally draining.
Yeah.
Like, you'll do things that people will not like. You will get hate. You will put, even like sometimes with this podcast, each episode I'm putting like from A to Z, I'm putting maybe like 10 hours of work into it every single week.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting paid for shit.
Yeah.
You know, like from the podcast, I'm saying. So that can have a very negative impact, like on your mental health, and could lead to lead you to be depressed and so on. But what I've noticed with you is people who are funny or have that comedic element, that's your like therapy to get through that. So how has, like, I'm sure you went through those phases like in your content journey. How did you, because I think that's important for this is what content creators need to hear too before you get in. You want to get into this, you want to be successful, long, hard, whatever, and you're going to ask yourself 10,000 times, I just want to stop and quit. I'm depressed. I'm sad. People don't like me. People hate me. What am I doing? So
Twitter was my rant diary.
Okay.
Twitter was
that's a great.
Twitter was there for me when I was depressed and when nobody else could be there for me. So that's how it started. And the class clown bit, like, I guess that was just something natural in me. I was born with it. Like, I liked being funny and I liked being lame. So I embraced that, and I stumbled upon Twitter, and then, like, you're making fun of yourself. You're very aware of the fact that you're giving people a chance to take a shot at you. You know, even when Eminem disses himself I always think about that. Like, if he's rapping and he disses himself first before the other rapper can diss him, what's left for the audience to talk shit about?
That famous, like, 8 Mile scene, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I really think about that a lot. So if I'm making fun of myself by showing myself stupid, what are they going to comment? That is worse than what I've already done. Like, if I dress up as a djinn and like, what worse, like, you have, if you want to make fun of me, it's there.
Yeah. I'm giving it to you on a silver platter.
So dealing with this whole thing, I think mentally maybe I was very rigid and very strong from the get-go, or very, like, I have this huge endurance and tolerance for, like, you can't get under my skin. It'll take you, like, there's very, very, very deep layers over there for any hate to get to me. And surprisingly, like, I haven't gotten that much of a hate, like, over the years. I've not created content that is hurting anybody.
Yeah, your content it doesn't offend anything. It's a thought.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes I'll get people DMing me like, "Did you go to school? Are
Really?
Do you need help? Are you psycho?" Like, I don't want to use the word, but, like, are you mentally ill?
Yeah.
You know, like, do you not understand basic gravity?
Yeah.
I get those comments and I laugh at them and I find them funny. I don't know, like, I always had this thing in my head, like, I will lead the world to think that I'm stupid. And that's, like, even though I'm in front of so many people, they'll never know who I am. Like, it's the perfect disguise while being known by so many people. Because when people meet me, they have this expectation. Like, I have kids that come up to me in the mall. Like, give us isn't that concerning question. And I am so serious in real life, and I don't know what to say. And then look at that, and it's like, is this the same guy, like, that we've been parasocially been involved with online? Like, So it's like, for me, it's the perfect disguise. It's like my turtle shell.
Sure. Yeah. This is where I play.
Yeah.
You know, this is where
You can say whatever you want to that guy on that video, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Because I'm saying it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think it's very helpful for people, content creators, to understand that there is, like, you need to be aware of the emotional side of this too.
To be super aware.
You know, and no matter how tough you think you are, you are gonna go through some deep lows.
It's harder when you're talking about serious shit and you're trying to provide value. It's way, because I've seen people that I've worked with get torn apart. Who the hell do you think you are? Telling us how to run a business, telling us how this works. Alex, I'll give you his example.
Yeah.
Really close to him. Burger 28. We were making videos about why his burger costs 32 dirhams. People ripped him off in the comment section. Yeah, this guy expects us to pay his rent for his staff or his restaurant. But Alex understood, like, this is engagement. All of these people are zeros and ones. You know, and then it's like Matrix. It's like the movie Matrix. Like, you step back and you just do this.
Yeah. I'll just take it all. Yeah.
Just whatever.
Oh man, Fahad, this has been such a fun conversation, man. I've learned so much from you today. It's been so fun listening to your story. I just have 2 more questions for you. These are questions I ask all my guests. Looking back at your life, when I ask you the question, either personally or professionally, what are you most proud of for yourself? What would you say?
I am proud of the fact that I always followed my heart, and even though sometimes it led me in the wrong direction, I'm living a life of no regrets right now. Like, I'm proud of the fact that I always listened to my gut and my heart, and I didn't do what others wanted me to do. I always did what I wanted, and even if it cost me money, it dragged me through the dirt.
Yeah,
I'm happy and I'm proud that I did that.
Yeah. Dude, there's not many people. I think it's rare in the world for people who can actually comfortably, you know, say that and feel that. So I'm so happy that you have that. Yeah. I had a similar experience, you know, when I started this podcast 5 years ago. My parents were like, what is this? Who the fuck are you? Who would listen to you? You've done nothing. Like, why? You know, all this. And it's so funny how now 5 years later, they call me like, I have a great guest for your podcast. You should bring him, this guy for your business.
Perspective changes.
You're you know, they say you're only crazy until you're a genius.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Until it hits, he was a visionary, but he was a lunatic for 10 years, you know?
You're only crazy till you can't pay the bills. Once you can pay the bills.
Yeah, hey, I love that. That's so good.
Oh, yeah. Fahad, so isn't that concerning podcast? Yeah.
And for my last question, Fahad, my man, what is the message you'd like everyone to take home with them today?
I mean, from this conversation, I hope you've learned that creating content is not for everybody, right? And it's okay to adapt and move on to the next thing. Like, I think today, more than any other time in the history of humanity and the world, there are opportunities in everything. And content creation is great, but I strongly believe it's not for everyone, because not everyone can be an actor. Not everyone can be a podcaster. Not everyone can come and speak in front of a camera, and you don't have to be. Like, even though it's important, it's becoming slowly your identity online, there are multiple ways to do it. So that's it, man.
I think, man, no, I couldn't agree with you more. Like you said, even with any content format, it's not for, it's not for everyone. For example, I don't think I would make the kind of content that you guys, it's just not my kind of thing. And there's others who wouldn't do like this vibe of a podcast. So
pick what you like.
Yeah, pick what you like, and you will do well in it, if you are consistent enough, for long enough. Fahad, man, this has been such a fun conversation. I really want to say thank you so much for coming on the show, bro. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah. If people want to work with you guys, reach out with you, check out your channels, where can we get in touch?
My channel is Fahad K _ FAHAADK _. If you want to work with my agency, that's K9.unit. That's KNINE.UNIT on Instagram.
I think, we'll make sure to put all that in the show notes. Guys, you know how to get in touch with him. Fahad, man, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. And I wanted to end on this. So I was like, okay, let me be on trend and come up with like some isn't that concerning thing for Fahad. So I've come up with something. I don't even know if it works.
Sure, let's
give it a try.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting that the memory of your first memory is just a memory?
Wow. No, that's concerning. That's a good one. Memory of your first memory is just a memory. So it's like a memory paradox.
Exactly.
Bro, that's crazy. We need to put this.
Yeah, there you go.
We need to put this together.
Let's do it. Man, thank you so much, bro. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, everyone listening, please make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe to the podcast. I hope it helps pod on all channels. And as always, guys, I hope it helps. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Great, man.
My man.
Good stuff.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Good stuff.
And that's another episode in the bag, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, podcasting is like this massive jigsaw puzzle, and my job is to help you find that missing piece. So if you're someone who's looking to launch your own podcast or take their podcast to the next level, you can book a call today and let's get started. TikTok.